University and your Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. And now get your scorecards ready. Let's meet this afternoon's starting lineups first for the visitors from Bradley. Leading off the center fielder, number 3, A.J. Garcia. Batting second and playing second, number 8, Hayden Miller. Hitting third, the designated hitter, number 4, Michael Quick. Batting fourth and playing first base, number 23, Anthony Martinez. Batting fifth, the right fielder, Ashton Fortune. Hitting sixth in left field, number 26, Landon Lowe. Batting seventh at third base, Angelo Aleman. Hitting eighth, the catcher, number 20, Jackson Schumacher. And rounding out the nine, the shortstop, number 1, Peyton Nelson. On the mound for the Braves, warming up in the bullpen, is the right-hander, number 42, Ryan Chapman. Bradley is coached by pitching coach Jeff Foley, defensive coordinator Sean Winston, and recruiting coordinator Curtis Kellogg. Director of pitching performance is A.J. Paps, and director of player development is Matt Garcia. The head coach of the Braves in his first season is Justin Dedman. And now, let's meet the starters for your Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. Leading off the second baseman, number 29, Eric Almonte. Batting second, the third baseman, number 36, Andre Martinez. Batting third in left field, number 1, Darryl Lee. Batting fourth, the first baseman, number 33, Jorge Rodriguez. Batting fifth in right field, number 14, Armani Newton. Hitting sixth, the shortstop, number 2, Jeter Boyedo. Batting seventh, the designated hitter, number 44, Jose Fernandez. Batting eighth and doing the catching, number 10, Michael Losena. And rounding out the nine for Bethune-Cookman in center field, number 19, Sergio Rivera. And on the mound for the Wildcats, the right-hander, number 31, Tanner Bocabello. The assistant coaches for Bethune-Cookman are Derek Artaya, Joel Sanchez, Hunter Allen, and the graduate assistant is Peter Vasquez. The head coach of the Wildcats in his 7th season is Johnny Hernandez. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you please rise and remove your caps as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
Well, live from Jackie Robinson Ballpark in beautiful downtown Daytona Beach, Florida, it's time to bring the curtain down on the opening weekend of Bethune-Cookman University baseball here in 2026 as the Wildcats go for a sweep of the Bradley Braves. Hello and a very warm welcome. My name is Michael Turillo. Happy to have your company. Jade Barquette joins me on a blustery Sunday afternoon at the ballpark for definitely the most important event in Daytona Beach today.
You could say that. I don't think there would be a lot of people that would agree with you, but hey, if you chose to be out here with us or listening on the CatEye Radio SWAC TV, then you're here for a good game. Wildcats looking to sweep Bradley in their first series of this season after a decisive win last night. Little bit of a shaky end, but they closed it out nonetheless.
Yeah, 17-6. The Wildcats scored 17 runs on just 7 hits, got 15 free passes. That's a combination of walks and hit by pitches to really blow the game open in the 5th, 6th, and 7th, and coasted from there. We saw great stuff from Edwin Sanchez on the mound to start the game. We saw great stuff out of 3/4 of the bullpen that came in, especially impressed with Isaiah Ducasi and Frank Perez. But today, the Wildcats are in the blue, and it is the return of one of the players who is now the elder statesman on this team, Tanner Bocabello, his 3rd season in Daytona Beach. He was the ace the last 2 years. Last year missed out on the back third of the season due to an arm injury, but he is back and starting today's game. Rest of the Wildcat lineup looks the exact same as it did the last 2 days. Almonte at second, Martinez at third, Lee in left, Rodriguez at first, Newton in right, Poyeto at short, Fernandez the DH, Lucena behind the plate, Rivera in center, and Bocabello on the mound. A.J. Garcia gets ready to kick things off for the Bradley Braves as we are underway. And you'll hear in a second when we get to my interview with Coach Hernandez that he talks about what he expects from Tanner Bocabello today. And what he said was something along the lines of, he just needs to go out and be himself. This is his first time pitching in a live, active game situation since that injury against Arkansas Pine Bluff, all the way back in March of last year, as his first pitch is strike down and away to the lefty Garcia. Start time officially 12:04. Swing and a miss from Garcia to fastball low. It is about 70 degrees, but windy. The wind gusting about 16 miles an hour out to straightaway center. As Bocabello is 0-2 to Garcia. Strike 3, got him swinging. Welcome back, Tanner Bocabello.
Exactly, 1-2-3 takes down the first hitter in Garcia for Bradley. All strikes right there. Got Garcia swinging to get the first out of this inning.
Last season, 11 appearances for Bocabello, 7-1 with a 4.52 ERA, 51 strikeouts, 22 walks, BA against of 276. But maybe his most important contribution to this team is his longevity on the mound, as he went 7+ innings in 4 of those 11 starts, including a complete game.
He's a veteran guy. They wanted to keep him out there as long as he can. He's got a 4-pitch mix that really is effective on the mound. They're going to want to see all of those today.
Fastball down the middle for a strike. This is Hayden Miller. Miller last night 0 for 3 with with 2 hit by pitches and a run scored in the 9th. Fouls one away, and there's 2 strikes. And in 2024, Bocabello was arguably better than he was in 2025 at a 2.93 ERA, an 8-3 record, and has been SWAC preseason pitcher of the year both in 24 and 25. Of course, the injury concerns ruling him out for any of the preseason awards this year. There's a breaking ball, hammered to deep left center field. That's going to be up in the wind, and that's going to be gone off the scoreboard. Maybe expect to see that a fair few times today. 1-0 Bradley. They have their first lead of the series on the first long bomb of the season by Hayden Miller.
And that ball was hit beautifully right out to the scoreboard, but like you mentioned earlier, that wind is definitely going to help that ball carry. It's going straight out to center field, so anything hit hard has a chance to go over the wall, and Hayden Miller does just that.
Yeah, that was just Bocabello missing a spot. He left that curveball right in the middle of the zone. Miller made no mistake. This one tapped right in front of the mound by Quick. Bocabello off the mound, and he'll make out number 2.
Good response there just to get first pitch swinging. A chopper right to Bocabello just to hammer that over to first at Georgie. Quick second out, trying to get out of this inning after that home run.
Now here's the man that hit the home run for Bradley last night, Anthony Martinez, the first baseman. At the time when he hit the home run last night, it was the 4th inning. That made it 2-1, but then the Wildcats went on a rampage, scored 5 in the 4th, 3 in the 5th, 6 in the 6th to really blow the game open. Martinez on the ground to short, scooped by Poyeto, crossed the diamond in plenty of time. So 1 run on 1 hit, the solo home run by Hayden Miller, and it's Bradley 1. Wildcats coming to bat while we wait for the bottom of the first. Here's my interview with head coach Johnny Hernandez. I'm here with Coach Hernandez before the Wildcats take on Bradley, Game 3 of the opening weekend of the season. Coach, last night, 17 runs, but only 7 hits, took advantage of the walks. You played smart baseball at times to get the runs across, but as you often like to say to me, doesn't matter. Today's a new day.
Absolutely. Obviously it's great, right, when you score more runs than the amount of hits that you have as an offense. But I think last night, again, we owned the strike zone. We took advantage of our walks. And, like we talked about last night, right, like today is a new day. Our opportunity to get better and opportunity to finish the weekend is what we're looking forward today with the Wildcats.
The big storyline today is the return of Tanner Bocabello to the mound after his injury in the middle of last season. I know he's been working hard to get fit and ready. What prompted the move from Fridays to Sundays for him?
I think for him, right, like I think as a leader of men, right, we have, responsibility to protect the student athletes from themselves, right? And I know that, and we know as a staff that, we're very capable of pitching, Bocabello on Fridays. But I think with him coming back from the injury, not having, an entire fall to kind of go through his throwing progression as far as like facing live hitters and then the scrimmages and the scripted bullpens, I think that it was smart, for us to be able to pitch him on Sundays. And again, it's more to protect, Tanner Bocabello at the end of the day, because we all know, right, with, Harbiston Abreu, with Edwin Sanchez, and even with Boc, we have 3 quality dudes that can pitch on Friday nights. So I think that also speaks to the depth of our starting pitching staff with our rotation, and just looking for Boca to go out there and just compete and throw strikes.
The lineup remains the same for the 3rd day in a row. What was the thought process about not changing up the batting order today?
If it's not broke, why fix it? I think that we have to kind of continue to put those guys out there and put this lineup out there to see, a couple of more games together to see what they can do collectively as a group. Obviously, they scored 17 runs last night, but like I mentioned to you, we have to go 1-0, and everyone's, 0-0 on the day, and we're just trying to take advantage of our opportunities when they present themselves today.
You told me on Friday that we'd seen the best 2 arms from Bradley. Bradley was a little bit wild last night. What are you expecting out of their pitching staff today?
Well, they're going to throw a freshman on the mound, number 42. It's 88-91. It's a 4-pitch mix. It's a slider, curveball, changeup. He's a freshman, but he's got some upside to him. Just kind of looking at some minimal video that was out there and just looking at some scouting reports, he's going to pound the zone, and his go-to pitch is going to be the changeup. So we have to do a really good job of seeing the off-speed stuff up and then taking advantage in fastball counts. And again, not allow him to get too comfortable in this setting, if that makes sense. So.
To the bottom of the first we go. We just heard Coach Hernandez talking about the freshman right-hander Ryan Schaffnitz as he throws a strike. First pitch to Eric Almonte, who's a switch hitter, batted from both sides of the plate last night. Ground ball behind first, bobbled by Martinez. He recovers, not in time. And so the Wildcats have the leadoff man aboard.
And once again, defensive errors by Bradley allow the Wildcats to get on base. Eric Almonte ran that out the whole way. Looks like he is walking a little bit gingerly after he stretched out to grab that bag. But great job to continue to get on base for the Wildcats.
Now, there were a couple of questionable calls on the base paths that went against the Wildcats last night, and one big one that really went for them in the 6th inning. Here is Andre Martinez, had a great night last night. 3 for 4, 2 runs scored, an RBI. He's got Almonte on first and nobody out. Pitch outside. Schaffnitz Comes to Bradley after a 4-year varsity career at Morton High School in Illinois. 6'6", very tall for a pitcher. 2-time first-team all-conference out of Morton High School. Schaffnet, here's the pitch. Fastball strike down the middle, and there's 1-2. This is a situation where you would almost expect a bunt to try and move the speedy Almonte over, but you have the bat that Martinez does. I wouldn't expect it. That one grounded towards second, could be 2. The flip to second for 1, back to first, double play. And immediately there are 2 down for the Wildcats.
Left fielder, number 1, Darrell Lee.
Now it'll be Darrell Lee. Lee last night, 3 runs, 2 hits, 2 RBI, and a walk as well. 2 out, nobody on after the double play grounded into by Andre Martinez. Lee rips a base hit to right field. And he continues his strong opening weekend.
We're going to see Darrell Lee on the base paths a lot this season. He's a guy that he's a ball hunter. He's going to see his pitches, hit it through the gap like he did there to get on base.
Here's Jorge Rodriguez. Hasn't quite had the start that I'm sure he wanted to the season offensively. Did score a run last night, had an RBI. But in his 2 plate appearances, he flew out and was hit by a pitch before getting replaced as the Wildcats shuffled 8 of the 9 players in the lineup last night, being the 9-inning, 17-run game. There was no run rule last night because it was agreed upon by the 2 coaches before the series that they would play all the games out. Rodriguez, line drive over the third baseman's head and down the left field line. Darrell Lee's going to try and get to third. Here comes the throw. Lee is safe as the throw goes up the line, and the Wildcats have runners on the corners with 2 down.
Well, that's why it's so important for Darrell to get on base, because he has the speed. If anything's hitting to the outfield, to get all the way from first to third. And then Georgie in the cleanup spot for the Wildcats is exactly doing his job. Hits that right over the third baseman's head to get on first. A great hit from Georgie to keep this rally going for the Wildcats.
Now a chance with 2 down for Armani Newton to tie this one up. Newton on Friday night, as he fouls the first pitch back, missed a home run by about 5 feet to the right of the foul pole on the first base side. Newton last night only had 2 at-bats, scored a run on no hits. He walked and struck out twice. Righty to lefty, Schaffnet deals. Outside, ball 1. It being a Sunday, both bullpens depleted, 3rd starters on the mound. I would expect lots of runners on, lots of runs, lots of hits today for both sides. Bradley's already up 1-0. Martinez up the middle. That's a pick at second by Nelson, and he flips it to the bag, and that'll end the inning. The Wildcats strand 2, and we go to the second. 1-0 Bradley here on the CatEye Radio Network and SWAC TV. To the top of the second we go. Ashton Horsham leads off for Bradley. They have their first lead of the series, 1-0 over Bethune-Cookman on a solo home run of the first by Hayden Miller against Tanner Bocabello. Righty to lefty, Boca deals the first pitch. Outside and high of the fastball. The Wildcats stranded 2 in the bottom of the inning after a 2-out rally came up empty. Breaking ball, swing and a miss. In the top of the first for the Braves, Garcia struck out, Miller hit the home run, and then Quick and Martinez both grounded out on the infield. High pop on the infield third base side. Andre Martinez calling for it and secures out number 1. And I was talking to Daryl last night on air about Edwin Sanchez. And I was comparing him to Tanner because they were the 2 top pitchers on the staff last year. And I said the way they go about pitching is completely different. Sanchez relies on his off-speed, relies on his breaking stuff to get swings and misses, a ton of strikeouts. He wants to set you down and not even let you see the base paths. Bocabello is much more of a simple 3-pitch, pitch-to-contact type guy. He wants that, and that exactly, about 30 times a game.
And it's effective, right? Both pitchers are using different pitches to get outs for the team, and no matter how they get them is what is going to be effective. And for Tanner, you've seen that a few times in this game so far already, just little choppers right back to him, pop-ups in the infield, or Ks. And that's why he is so effective. And Sanchez, he's just so deceptive on the mound, which makes him so good. And Tanner passed that torch to Sanchez as the SWAC preseason pitcher of the year this year, as he was taking it the 2 years before.
And then we saw Harvey Abreu on Friday. Here's a bunt, pulls back, ball 1 upstairs. We saw Abreu on Friday just power through guys with this fastball. They could not catch up to it.
I'm really excited to see how he progresses the rest of the season. Was taken out early in that game on Friday due to a little bit of an injury. He should be good to go for the rest of the year.
Fastball low from Boca, 2-0. This is Angelo Ailman, the only change that Bradley has made to their starting lineup today. He's playing third in place of Jack Holubowski. Long hold for Bocabello. Here's the 2-0. Foul back to the screen, 2-1. Wildcats in their all light blues. Tribute to baseball's history. Tribute to many things, but reminder of the old Phillies back in the 70s with the blue uniforms. Cardinals and Royals as well with the all baby blues.
The mix with the maroon is so cool. I love it.
Chop foul right at home plate, 2-2. That's why it reminds me of the Phillies with the maroon hat with the blue.
You don't see this mix much at all.
It's also about mental health and men's mental health specifically. There's a whole page on our website you can go see why BCU wears blue. And it was Tanner Bocabello's thing the last year. And he was the Friday night starter, so they wore it every Friday night. Now with him switching to Sundays, the Blues are going to stay with Tanner on Sunday afternoons. Breaking ball up the middle. Almonte is there to retire the Braves 1-2-3. We go to the bottom of the second. Wildcats down 1-0 here on the CatEye Radio Network and SWAC TV. Gino Poyeto leads off the bottom of the second for Bethune-Cookman. They trail the Bradley Braves 1-0. Poyeto last night hit the first home run for the Wildcats of the 2026 season. That was in the 5th inning, a 2-run home run. He also had an RBI sac fly and flew out to right in his 3 plate appearances before heading to the bench.
Now batting number 2, Jeter Poyeto.
He was also the subject of a little bit of controversy as he takes a strike inside corner from Schaffner. When he hit the home run last night, his bat, he kind of flung the bat out. His bat bounced all the way towards the Bradley dugout. The Braves took offense to that as a pitch skips to the backstop 1-1. Caused a pretty long stoppage after the home run as the Bradley coaching staff complained. I think originally wanted him ejected for taunting. Check swing on a pitch up and in. And it'll be a ball and 2 strikes. Wildcats stranded 2 in the first. Poyeto pops it up to right field. Horsham stands under it for out number 1. That'll bring up the designated hitter, Jose Fernandez. Last night, the Wildcats did a really good job about keeping runners on the base, off the base paths, getting them in. They only stranded 7, even while scoring 17 runs, and 5 of those 7 in the last 2 innings. First pitch a strike from Schaffner. He misses badly with a slider, and it's 1-1.
Same pitch that he missed on Jeter's at bat as well.
Fernandez ground ball to second. Miller gloves it, throws to first, a little wide, but Martinez makes the stretch, 2 down. And a lot of routine stuff on the infield for Bradley in the first 2 innings.
Hit hard though, good contact by BCU. There has been a few errors in the defensive side of the game for Bradley in these 3 games so far, so anything hit hard, you never know what could happen. Always have to dig it out.
Bradley made 2 errors last night, 2 errors on opening night, and already 1 in the ball game this afternoon with Eric Almonte leading off, grounding it right to Martinez at first, who bobbled it. 2 away, here's Michael Lucena, breaking ball, strike 1. That's a ball outside. Lucena, last night, 2 ABs, a run, a walk, and a strikeout. Down and in ball 2. Ground ball through the first base gap. And that'll be a 2-out single for Michael Lucena. For the second time in consecutive innings, the Wildcats get a bases empty 2-out single. And here's the 9-hole hitter, Sergio Rivera, who was the hero on Friday night with his walk-off single.
The center fielder, number 19.
Great hit there by Lucena, who just drove it into the gap opposite field. The defense for Bradley was shifted just a little bit over, so allowed him to get it through the gap to get on first here. Looking for a 2-out rally to get one back here late in the second.
First pitch outside to Rivera last night. 2 at-bats, a run, an RBI, 2 walks, and a strikeout. There was a lot of stat lines from last night that look very similar. As Bradley especially with their first 2 pitchers out of the bullpen, struggled to find the plate. There's a breaking ball strike to Sergio Rivera, and the count 1-1. Lucena on first 2 down. Wildcats down 1-0, bottom 2. Rivera puts it in the air to right field. Horsham loses his hat but makes the catch. And the Wildcats go quietly in the second. We go to the third, 1-0 Bradley here on the CatEye Radio Network and SWAC TV. To the top of the third we go, 1-0 Bradley. The difference between the two teams is the solo shot by Hayden Miller in the first. Bradley does not have a base runner other than him.
The catcher, number 20, Jackson Schumacher.
It'll be the 8-hole hitter, the catcher, Jackson Schumacher, to lead off. Tanner Bocabello, 18 pitches through his first 2 innings. Here's number 19. It's a ball outside. Bit of a lighter crowd out today at the Jack than we had the last 2 nights. Of course, being Daytona 500 away day has kept a lot of the locals away. Not a lot of students out here tonight. Bocabello fires. Ground ball chopped towards third. Fielded deep in the hole by Martinez across the diamond. Routine put out for out number 1.
I'm sure we'll hear the flyover at some point in the game.
Yeah, they've pushed up their start. It was 3. Now it's 2. There is some weather rolling in later on today. That's why we've started at noon and not 1 this afternoon. But what I will say about the crowd today is there's a lot of families of players, a lot of friends of players that have come out and support, not just today, but all opening weekend long. I spoke to Ruben Zawani's family before the game. I spoke to Tanner Bocabello's dad before the game. And Ruben Zawani last night had a ball that off the bat I thought was his first collegiate home run. It looked destined for the bullpen, and it just fell short of the track. But his parents were sitting right down in front of us last night, and then when that ball off the bat, they stood up like that ball was out of here.
If he gets in today, that win will definitely carry it just a little bit more.
High fly, left field line, headed towards foul territory, and it pops out of the glove of Poyeto, who tried to make an acrobatic catch.
Well, it's so hard over there with the bullpen being just on the other side of the foul line. He had his teammates there trying to help him, Martinez and Lee over there, Darryl Lee in left field, trying to direct him, but with the wind and trying to make sure he's not tripping and falling over the mound in the bullpen, that was a hard catch for Poyeto, and what an effort.
He almost had it, too, just bounced off his glove. Well, it'll just be a long strike, and the count 1-2 on Schumacher. Bounce towards short. Poyeto. Close play at first, but by a half step, there's 2 away. Despite that home run, We've seen Bocabello be very efficient, just 24 pitches through the first. Back to the top of the order here is A.J. Garcia, who was Bocabello's only strikeout victim back to begin the game. Swing and a miss, as Bocabello goes right back to time to watch hitters.
Why is that?
Because you see the adjustments they'll make to the pitchers. That they've seen them once.
Your lesson.
Because Garcia swings and misses at that same fastball away. But you see the pitchers and make that the same adjustment, right? It's kind of like mind game or chess, right? You think like it's the pitcher versus batter constant struggle is one of the things I love about baseball, because every pitch is something. Tipped into the glove, strike three. Garcia strikes out for the second time as 1-2-3 go the Braves. We go to the bottom of the third, 1-0 Bradley over Bethune-Cookman here on the CatEye Radio Network and SWAC TV. To the bottom of the third we go here at the Jack. Bradley on the solo home run by Martinez still leads 1-0. The Wildcats have stranded 3 on base through the first 2 innings.
Second baseman, number 29, Eric Almonte.
And we go back to the top of the order as the Wildcats will try to unlock Ryan Schaffnet, the freshman. Well, that'll help as Eric Almonte takes a hit by pitch right on the ankle, his first pitch he sees, and he's on first for the second time today.
Well, again, it's the same spot that he was missing on the bottom corner of the strike zone, way outside of it, honestly. But Almonte, as a lefty there, that's going to hit him, and he'll take first base.
Eric Almonte is trying to do the rare get on base every way possible in a single game. Because you've got error, now you've got hit by pitch. All he needs is a walk and a hit.
That's its own type of cycle, right?
I guess. The wacky cycle.
The Almonte cycle.
First pitch, a slider down and away to Andre Martinez. He grounded into a 4-6-3 double play his first time up, which took away a lot of the momentum of that Wildcat first inning. This time he chops it toward third. Once again, could be 2. They go to second for 1, as hanging onto the ball is Nelson, as he does a cartwheel off the bag. So a fielder's choice, and there's 1 away. The rare 5-6 putout on the infield as Martinez reaches with a fielder's choice. Runner on first, 1 out. Here's Darrell Lee, who singled to right field his first time up. I would expect the Bethune-Cookman offense to try and start figuring out Schaffnet here second time through the order. As you can see the seeds being planted that first time through with the Lee and Rodriguez singles and the 3 runners stranded.
He's also continuing to just miss spots, so if they just let him pitch and be patient, they'll get their pitch to hit.
That time just missed again with the fastball, 2-0 on Lee. Schaffnet approaching 30 pitches. Lee cut on a miss, fastball low and away, 2-1. Schaffnet still hunting his first collegiate strikeout. This is his first college start. The freshman from Morton, Illinois. He's 6'6", very tall for a starting pitcher at the D1 level. Lee, ground ball through the first base side. A carbon copy of his single in the first. Martinez is gonna motor on to third, so there'll be runners at the corners with 1 down.
That ball just hanging enough for Darrell Lee to drill it into right field, pulled it perfectly, and allowed Martinez to get all the way to third from first because it was in that right field corner.
And now Jorge Rodriguez, who ripped a single down the third baseline his first time up, has a chance for some RBI here. Runners on the corners, 1 down. Almonte led off, was hit by a pitch, and was out at second on a Martinez fielder's choice. With Andre Martinez being the lead runner in this situation, and not the quickest guy in the world, I wouldn't expect any sort of double steal shenanigans from Coach Hernandez, but you know he likes to mix things up on the base paths. First pitch down the middle, strike 1 to Rodriguez. If Lee was on third, I would 100% expect it.
I would too, especially because of his quickness, but right now, knowing that there's only 1 out as well, I don't think they were going to risk it with Georgie at the plate, too.
And they are really going to keep a close eye on Darrell Lee to make sure he doesn't try and snipe second. Last year, Darrell Lee second on the team in steals behind Sergio Rivera. Ground ball, just barely foul on the wrong side of third base. A couple inches from 1, perhaps 2 runs for the Wildcats there.
That might have been centimeters, Mike. That was really close from being a fair ball.
Darrell Lee, 23 steals on 29 attempts last season. Swinging a high fly ball towards center field. It is caught by Garcia. Martinez tags. He's going to come in to score, and this game is tied.
Georgie doing his job there, hitting it deep enough into center field for a sac fly. Enough to score Martinez from third. Darrell will stay at first. Wildcats have tied things up here.
And it was only a matter of time.
Yeah.
With all the runners left on base for the Wildcats for the first 2 innings. Now here's Armani Newton, grounded into a fielder's choice to end the first inning and strand 2 aboard. He's got Lee on first with 2 down, and the Wildcats tying the game at 1. Long hold from Schaffnet, he'll throw over to first. Now without Martinez to worry about on third, they can really focus all their attention on Lee. With a freshman pitcher on the mound and runners on the corners, you got to be really careful that he doesn't throw one into the bullpen and give the Wildcats an easy run. Fastball outside, ball 1 to Armani Newton.
And look at how hard the wind is blowing right now. You're seeing dirt and dust from the construction in left field make its way onto the field. Debris and things as well out in left field.
Breaking ball misses outside to Newton. I think that might be a piece of a banner or something that's out there in left field as well.
Honestly, who knows what could go on the field right now. There's been so much construction going on here at Jackie Robinson Ballpark. Not so much in right and center field, but now on this left-hand side. There could be things blowing onto the field.
Another check back over to first. And this is very odd for this ballpark. Normally, the wind is coming off the water in from right center and blowing very hard. This is blowing straight out to center field, sometimes left center, because of the cold front coming in from the north and bringing a big storm with it that'll hit later this afternoon. Newton, breaking ball strike taken at the knees. And what is a big change about this ballpark from last year to this year is the Advent Health Center that is opening up soon down the first base line. That's going to block a lot of that wind coming in off the river. Newton takes a strike. Lee goes to second. The ball gets into center field, and Lee's going to try and go to third. He's going to be there without a throw. So now with 2 away and a runner 90 feet away for Armani Newton, but he is in a 2-strike, 2-ball count.
And with 2 outs, too, he has to make sure he's not swinging at anything crazy because he does have Darryl at third.
That'll be a steal and an error for Darryl Lee. Newton gets punched out looking, and that'll be the end of the inning. It's the first college strikeout for Ryan Schaffnett. The Wildcats do get a run on a hit and strand one as we go to the fourth. Tied at 1 here on the CatEye Radio Network and SWAC TV. Hayden Miller leads off for the Bradley Braves. 1-1 tie here, top of the fourth, in the series finale of opening weekend from Jackie Robinson Ballpark. Miller led off the scoring with a solo shot to left center in the first. Takes a slider, strike one from Tanner Bocabello. The Wildcats responded in the bottom of the third by scratching off a run off a sac fly. We're back tied at 1. Tanner Bocabello misses outside. Of the 3 main starters last year, Edwin Sanchez, Joel Corey, and Tanner Bocabello. Bocabello was the 3rd of those 3 in terms of batting average against, but not by a whole lot. Still a BA against of under 300. There's a fastball waved at and missed by Miller. I would imagine that Bocabello is not going to throw the curve to Miller in this AB, because the last time he did that, it was sent halfway up the scoreboard. We've seen slider fastball so far. It's fastball again, chopped to short. Deep in the hole, Poyeto on to first on a hop, safe. Miller beats it out, and he has the only 2 hits for Bradley so far in the ballgame.
That ball was hit hard at Poyeto over there at shortstop. He had to backhand it and then didn't get a great throw to Georgie, who tried to stretch out as far as he could, but that hop right to him allowed the runner to continue to get over to first. And Miller having a day here.
Now it's Michael Quick who grounded out back to the pitcher his first time up. He'll try and bunt, throw down to second, tracks the stealing Miller. He's safe. Lucena kind of double clutched the throw, and that allowed Miller to get down there on a steal.
A little hesitation allowed him to get over there easily. Wyoto makes sure he put the tag on him to keep him steady, but Hayden Miller's having his way out here on the Sunday afternoon.
We'll see if Michael Quick decides to try and bunt again. He does, and it's inside. Lucena lost the ball, but finds it quick enough to keep Miller at second.
I'm not sure if you guys can see it on the stream, but there is now dust coming in from the bleachers behind the home base dugout.
Yeah.
That could affect the eyesight of the pitcher, catcher, and the fans don't want to get blown with dust either.
Well, because the entire concourse behind the third base sign is all torn up. It's a complete construction zone as they work on getting that ready for Tortuga's opening day in about 2 months. Fastball down the middle, strike one. So Michael Quick counts now 2-1. Bradley trying to break a 1-1 tie here in the fourth. Another low one. And Michael Quick will walk 2 on, nobody out. First walk allowed by Bocabello.
The first baseman, number 23, Anthony Martinez.
In Bocabello's entire career before today's start, his strikeout to walk ratio was 124 strikeouts to just 38 walks. That time his 4 misses weren't particularly close. Here's on Anthony Martinez. Who hit the home run last night. He's got an excellent shot here with 2 on, nobody out. Wildcats hoping for a double play ball. Fouled away, third base side. Quick turnaround for the Wildcats after today. They're back here at home on Tuesday night against FIU. Last year, FIU swept the Wildcats, run ruled them both times. Off the end of the bat, popped up, shallow right. Going all the way out to make the catch is Almonte, and then he fires in to keep the runners there. That's about best case scenario for the Wildcats defensively.
We couldn't hear who was calling the ball out there. Almonte had to go all the way back pretty much into right field where Armani Newton was charging in. Nevertheless, Almonte makes the catch. Glad there wasn't an injury out there, a real collision between the two of them.
Yeah, that's a tough catch for Almonte, who's made some spectacular defensive plays in this opening series of the season. The one on Friday night where he robbed a double by snagging a line drive over his head still sticks with me. They throw back to second and almost throw it into center field. The batter is Ashton Horsham. Popped up on the infield, Andre Martinez at third, back in the second. Last night, Horsham 1 for 2, a single, a steal, and a strikeout looking. Strike. Ball pops out of the glove of Lucena. The runners will advance, and Andre Martinez has to dive to keep that ball from going to the outfield. And now runners on the corners with 1 down. Miller on third after a leadoff infield single. Quick on first after a walk. The 1 out was an Anthony Martinez long pop out to shallow right. And Ashton Horsham trying to give the Braves back the lead. Squares to bunt, pitch goes high. Miller having to retreat back to third. An early point of tension here in Game 3 of this 3-game series. Wildcats looking for the sweep. Missed a bunt. Throw back to third. Safe. The count is now 1-2 on Horsham. I expect Ashton to be swinging away here. He does, and grounds it fair to first. No, a foul. That was very close down at first. I thought the umpire signaled fair initially, then changed it to foul ball.
But a heads-up play nonetheless by Georgie over there at first. Had to go to ground to get that one. And just before that ball was thrown, the umpire called foul.
Wildcats had the chance for an inning-ending double play there if that was fair. Now another chance for Horsham. Runners on the corners, one down. Flied out, foul. All the way into the bleachers. That one came down perfectly right near the fence.
I don't know how anyone's going to go get those balls that have made their way into those stands because it's all blocked off by construction. I'm sure a brave teammate will make their way in there.
Another foul ball, fouled off the leg of Horsham. He stays alive again in a 1-2 count. Ocabello shakes off a sign from Lucena, now comes set. And fires low, 2-2. Landon Lowe awaits on deck. He was the only run scorer on Friday night for the Braves as the Wildcats won that one 2-1, then 17-6 last night in game 2. Swing and a miss. Horsham well ahead of the off speed. And there's 2 away in the inning, and Landon Lowe now is in a big pressure spot.
And what a way to put him down there after a battle between Boca Bello and Horsham. He was one of the few returners to this Bradley side. He puts him away.
Ocabello up to almost 50 pitches now here in the 4th inning. Ground ball to short. Poyeto charges, throws to second, and he throws the ball away. It goes all the way down the right field line. Scoring from third is Miller. Coming all the way around from first is Quick, and the ball gets away again. 3-1 Bradley. Just when the Wildcats thought they were out of the inning, disaster.
And I don't think anybody thought that ball was going, well, they obviously didn't think it was going to go past Almonte over there at second, who was covering. And Armani Newton tried to throw it all the way in, but it was too late of a throw. Runners score easily for Bradley. And they're still have a runner in scoring position.
I've talked several times in this opening series about Jeter Poyeto has to advance defensively this year. He maintained his spot in the lineup throughout last season because of his bat and how great his offense was. But at times was a liability defensively because of plays like that. It should be a simple pick to second to end the inning and get out of it with a tie game, and now you're down by 2. Fastball strike to Angelo Ailman, grounded out to second his first time up.
In the opening weekend, the first 3 games of this season, you want to work out those little kinks, right? You want to make sure that when you get down to SWAC play, and head coach Johnny Hernandez doesn't want any errors of any sort of kind, no matter where they're playing or who they are. But this is where you work those kind of things out.
Bouncer to the plate. Now 3-1 the count on Ailman. And if you're Bocabello, you see that ball on the ground to short, you're thinking, I got out of it. And now you got to reset mentally and go at another batter.
Well, you saw him hit his glove as soon as that ball was thrown over. He was already making his way towards the dugout.
Ground ball, that's going to be off the glove of Poyeto and into center field. Scoring from second is low, and it's 4-1 Braves. Ailman picks up the RBI, and here's Jackson Schumacher as the train continues for Bradley, and here comes Joel Sanchez out to the mound to talk to Tanner Bocabello. We talked about Bocabello being a pitch-to-contact guy. He's gotten the results he's wanted. The defense hasn't been there to back him up.
That ball was hit extremely hard, and almost looks like it was going to hit the ump. Maybe that's why Poyeto wasn't able to get over enough, but nonetheless, he bobbled it, and the ball went straight into center field. And Ailman doing his job, right? Hits the ball up the middle, scores his run from scoring position, and then fires up the Bradley dugout as well. And that's the type of thing that you don't want to give teams, is the momentum as we're in the early stages of this game to pull ahead, kind of like the Wildcats were doing to them last night.
Basketball returns to Moore Gymnasium for the second to last time this season on Thursday, February 19th, as BCU men's and women's basketball take on Alabama State in a doubleheader starting at 5:30. Student admission is always free, or your tickets are available at bcuathletics.com/tickets. It'll also be free on youtube.com/CatEye Network or bcuathletics.com/radio. Swing and a miss, first pitch breaking ball to Jackson Schumacher, grounded out to third in his first plate appearance. 3 runs on 2 hits and an error in this fourth inning for Bradley. Breaking ball outside. This is an inning where Bocabello has now gone up over 50 pitches, has thrown over 25 pitches.
Well, in that Horsham at-bat alone, a ton of pitches were thrown as well.
Popped up down the first base line. And Jorge Rodriguez can't find it. More defensive miscues, and the inning continues for Bradley.
Well, we've talked about the Wildcats not being able to practice here at Jackie Robinson Ballpark because of the renovations that were going on. So getting used to this field again is something that they're going to have to do. As we have the athletic training staff and head coach Johnny Hernandez just making sure Almonte is okay after he was trying to cover Georgie over there at first in foul territory.
You already saw him kind of stretch out his leg after getting to first in the first inning on a tight play, and now running all the way over there behind the first base dugout. Tip back to the screen. Count holds 1-2 on Schumacher. But Coach Hernandez's goal with the 3 starters this year is to have them go 6 or 7 innings in every game. And Bocabello looked set to do that before the miscues in this inning. Jeter Poyeto finally gets out of the inning. Third chance for Poyeto when he makes the play at second, but 3 runs, 2 hits, and an error. And we go to the bottom of the fourth. The Wildcats now down 4-1 here on the CatEye Radio Network and SWAC TV. Wildcats facing a bit of adversity for the first time in this 2026 season as they're down 4-1 as we go to the bottom of the fourth. They put up a 3 spot in the top of the inning. A couple of defensive miscues by the Wildcat infield have allowed Bradley to step in front once again. Gita Poyeto leads off and rockets one right back where it came from. First pitch swinging for a single. It's not like the Wildcats haven't been hitting the ball today. They just haven't come through with runners on scoring position.
And that's just something that has plagued them in the first game, especially of this series, when they only scored 2 runs. This time, Poyeto sees the first pitch and drills it into center field.
Wildcats have 5 hits through 3 1/3, but only 1 run. That one in the air, down the left field line, back, track, wall! Adios, amigos! Jose Fernandez gets 2 of those 3 runs back with 1 swing of the bat. He put it up in the jet stream and it carried it over the wall.
Line drive homer for Jose Fernandez, his first of the year. And again, first pitch he sees, drills it right in to left field. Just gets over the wall, maybe a little bit of help from the wind, but Wildcats, just like that, are back in it.
You can never count them out of any game.
Never.
They could have been the team down 17-6 last night. It would have said,
found
well,
a way.
we got a shot. And there were so many times last year where that was the case, where the offense had to dig them out of situations where the pitching put them in, especially the bullpen. But with how solid the bullpens looked through the first game of the 2 games of the season, the Wildcats have looked to have shorn up their biggest weakness from last season. You were asking about whose job it was to go get the baseballs that had landed in the construction area. So the answer was Andres Barroso,
Yes.
who pitched on Friday night. He was out there in between innings grabbing the baseballs. So Wildcats now down just 1 as it's 4-3. Still nobody out in the inning, and here's Michael Lucena, who singled to right his first time up. And Bradley already starting some warming up in the bullpen down the right field line. First pitch to Lucena. He turns on one and puts it in the air to left center field. That is gonna be 1 hop off the wall. And it's gonna hop over the wall for a ground rule double. Here come the Wildcat bats. Single, homer, ground rule double on 3 pitches.
And they figured out Schaffnet here in the bottom of the fourth, continuing to hammer the ball and make great contact. Lucena there drove that one into the gap between left and center. And then a little help from the turf allowed that one to go over. And it might have been a triple if it could have stayed in, but ground rule double will help.
You see a lot of ground rule doubles at this park because of the turf kind of acts like a bungee cord. Springs the ball over the fence. Now here's the 9-hole hitter, Sergio Rivera, tying run on second, nobody out. Rivera swings at the first pitch and puts it in the air to center field. That's pretty deep. That's back to the track. An amazing catch by Garcia as he slams into the wall. But advancing to third is Lucena. 4 pitches, 4 hard hit balls for the Wildcats in the frame.
And again, that one drilled right to center field, all the way at the wall. The wind might have helped it a little bit go farther, but a fantastic job by the center fielder for Bradley to make that catch, take contact for the wall and Garcia.
Now here's Eric Almonte with a chance to tie the game with his first Wildcat RBI. Almonte, the switch hitter, continues to bat from the left-hand side. And he drills one to right field. That's gonna drop in and head towards the wall. Scoring from third is Lucena. Almonte makes a big turn at first, and on 5 pitches, the Wildcats tie the game.
And if he's dealing with any sort of injury right now or ailment, you can't see it at all. Again, first pitch drilled it to right field, pulled it perfectly, kept it
My goodness.
kept it in. And
Single, homer, ground rule double, fly out to deep center about 2 feet away from being a home run, and then a laced single to right field. Everybody has swung at the first pitch. Here is Andre Martinez now. Grounded into a double play in the first, reached on a fielder's choice and scored the first run of the game for the Wildcats in the third. He chops one towards third, could be two. On to second for one, back to first. Double play. And that's the end of the inning.
Looked like he got jammed a little bit there on that ball, but tried to keep the rally going. Wildcats came back, though, here in the bottom of the fourth. What a response from getting scored on 3 times in the top.
3 runs on 4 hits, nobody left. We go to the 5th inning of play. It's 4-4 here at the Jack between the Braves and the Wildcats on the CatEye Radio Network and SWAC TV. We quickly move to the 5th here at Jackie Robinson Ballpark on Sunday afternoon, end of the first series of the season. Bradley Braves and Bethune-Cookman Wildcats tied up at 4 after the Wildcats have one of the quickest 3-run innings you'll ever see. 8 pitches in total.
But effective with those 8 pitches.
Single, home run, ground rule double, fly out, single, double play. And I think that might see the end for Schaffner. We'll have to see when Bradley is back in the field next half inning. Tanner Bocabello continues up to 58 pitches before this inning started. Ground ball up the middle. Poyeto can't get there on the dive, and it's a leadoff single for Peyton Nelson.
Bradley hammering the ball through that gap of Jeter Poyeto and Almonte. Hard contact will dribble it all the way to the center field grass, turf.
Yeah, just a long single for Peyton Nelson, who's been a standout defensively for Bradley in this series. Not so much with his bat, but now a runner on, nobody out. And here's A.J. Garcia, who's struck out twice. He's 2 of the 3 strikeout victims for Tanner Bocabello today. Of the 4 runs that Bradley has scored, as here's the check back over to first, you can really only put 2 of them on Bocabello. Because the Wildcats should have been out of that inning. Actually, you really only could put 1 on Bocabello, because the Wildcats should have been out of that 4th inning before a run even crossed the plate. And then the error by Poyeto at second cost the Wildcats 2 runs, and the inning continued. They scored again. But that's life for a pitcher sometimes. You just got to deal with it and move on. And when you're on a team with this much offensive talent, you know that you've got guys in the dugout that can pick you up pretty quick, as the Wildcats have done here. 4 runs on 8 hits through 4 innings. Swing and a miss. He keeps throwing that changeup outside and low to Garcia, and Garcia has missed it every time.
And if it's not broke, why fix it, right? Bocabello dealing right now against Bradley.
Outside, count goes full 3-2, trying to get a chase from Garcia. If I was Tanner, I'd go right back to that change up outside and low. But we shall see with a runner on and nobody out after the leadoff single by Nelson. Swing and a miss. He went right back to it. 3 strikeouts for Garcia, all on the same pitch. Apparently that was not strike 3. Well, I had the count wrong. My apologies. I'm following the live stats, and they had a 3-2. Chop foul right at home plate as the at-bat continues for Garcia. Oh, all 3 of us up here at the scorer's table had a 3-2 count. Here's a pitch. Upstairs, ball 4, and it doesn't matter. They got the out at second, but again, it doesn't matter because it's ball 4. Wow. As Bradley gets away with one.
And that's a rarity. You don't see that too much on the steal, ball 4. Umpire called it out as well. He looked a little bit confused over there at second.
Well, there's been no complaining from Coach Hernandez about the count, so I guess we all must have missed something. But now there's 2 on and nobody out again, just like the last inning. The last inning started single walk. This inning started single walk. And now the Wildcat bullpen starts to get going. First pitch high to Hayden Miller. He scored 2 of the 4 runs for Bradley. Solo homer in the first. He led off the 4th with a single, came around to score on the Poyeto error. Throw back to second. It's close, but Nelson slides back in. Wildcats like to run that defensive set with a fake the shortstop running in and actually run the second baseman in for a pickoff. Sometimes it causes more confusion on the Wildcats side than the opponents. Bunted, foul to the third base side. And the count is 1-1. This might be one of those games where advantage to the home team because they bat last. You just match them run for run.
Wildcats are hoping that doesn't happen, but it is seeming like that sort of game with Bradley striking first in the top of the very first inning.
Swing and a miss. Fastball upstairs, and it's 1-2 on Miller. One, two. Swing and a miss. Fastball low and away, and Miller goes down. Now first and second, 1 away. The batter will be Michael Quick. He grounded out to the pitcher in the first and walked and scored in the 4th. Well, the Wildcats trying to pull the Houdini act and get out of this one and keep the score tied, but still 1 out with first and second. Fastball away, ball 1. Bradley, after today's game, going to get on a plane and head to Bloomington, Indiana for a matchup with the Indiana Hoosiers on Tuesday. Foul ball away to the left-hand side.
I was talking to their head coach prior to the game. I said, are you getting on a plane or a flight right after this one? And he said, shower and go. Get out of here.
They will not play a home game at Dozier Park in Peoria, Illinois until March 27th. In the air, center field. Rivera tracking back, makes the catch. The runners will advance. And there's 2 away with runners on second and third. Every ball that's hit in the air today, I get scared that the wind's just going to pull it out of there.
It has the opportunity to go, and it looks like we will have a pitching change here for Johnny Hernandez.
So Tanner Bocabello, responsible for the 2 runners on base, will give up the ball after 4 2/3 innings. 75 pitches thrown, giving up 4 runs on 4 hits, just 1 of those earned, striking out 4 and walking 2 in his first pitching appearance since last March after an injury. And he will feel a bit hard done by his infield. But a solid return for Tanner Bocabello, especially as he switches from Friday nights to Sunday afternoons in the weekend rotation this season.
And he has a bright future this season. I think a little bit more help from his defense, and this is a totally different game, and I don't know if he's getting taken out or maybe they're just watching his pitch count because it's his first return back, but Sunday afternoons are going to be a bright spot for Tanner Bocabello and this Wildcat team as he returns from injury.
The new pitcher for the Wildcats, it's a BCU debut for Byron Rincones. Another Aruban from Oranjestad. His first 2 college seasons at Northwest Florida State. Last year, 15 appearances, 1 start. A .350 ERA in 36 innings, 37 strikeouts to 14 walks, with 4 saves out of the bullpen, averaging nearly 10 strikeouts per 9 innings. And Coach Hernandez said we would probably see him last night, with last night being such a blowout. He wanted to get some of the back end of the rotation guys in, and now here's a perfect spot for someone who is going to be in contention for that primary reliever spot down the stretch this season.
Yeah, this is a great place to bring him in. 2-pitch mix, sinker slider for the right-hander. Going to be effective in moments like these where need an out, needs a guy in relief to go 3 innings, 4 innings potentially into the 8th for the Wildcats. And for your debut to be on this beautiful Sunday afternoon, nothing more you can ask for Rincones in a position where, you know, he has to bail his team out a little bit here.
Rincones, one of 3 Arubans on the team this year. Justin Morales, one of the other ones who's playing with Team Netherlands in the World Baseball Classic coming up in a couple of weeks. And then, of course, harvesting Abreu, who we saw start on Friday night. Coach Hernandez has not budged from his scouting philosophy the whole time he's been here, which is there are plenty of diamonds in the rough in the lower levels of college baseball in Florida. Go find them. And he's done so again.
And it speaks to what he's trying to build here is that development of players and in a college landscape where it is so dominated by the transfer portal, and for him to return 7 of the 9 guys in the starting lineup and really just add key pieces in the pitching staff, and Rincones being one of them, he has just set a foundation of we want to build up our players, we want to build up this program and breed winners. And you saw that how they did last season, the 2025 SWAC champions, and they're going to want to build off that this season.
Anthony Martinez, the batter to face Rincones. First pitch, curveball, strike. Martinez 0 for 2. A ground out to short and a pop-up into shallow right field that was caught by Almonte, the second baseman. Really pressure situation here. Nelson on third, Garcia on second. 2 away in the inning in a tie game. Breaking ball in the dirt. And it's 1-1. Rincones, 37 strikeouts and just 14 walks last year at Northwest Florida State. Chopper in the infield, charging Poyeto. He throws in time. Poyeto makes up for the mistakes and keeps the game tied by charging that slow chopper towards shorts. No runs, a hit, 2 left for the Braves. We go to the bottom of the 5th and a tie game at 4 here on the CatEye Radio Network and SWAC TV. New pitcher for the Bradley Braves as we go to the bottom of the 5th. The freshman Schaffnet gives over to another freshman, Kalen Schneider, making his collegiate debut out of Hampshire High School in Gilbert, Illinois. Two-time first-team All-Conference and first-team All-Area selection and won 2 regional championships. As Darrell Lee will be the first to face Schneider. Darrell Lee 2 for 2 with 2 singles to right. Slider strike. First pitch from Schneider. Final line on Schaffnet. He goes 4 innings, throws 47 pitches, gives them 4 runs on 8 hits, all earned. Ball low and away. Striking out 1, didn't walk anybody.
Wind blowing so hard, it knocked Schneider's hat off. But the Wildcats absolutely blew up Schaffnet. They knew exactly what he was throwing, especially in that bottom of the 4th inning.
Way outside with the fastball for Schneider. Yeah, bottom of the 4th. Poyeto first pitch swinging single. Fernandez first pitch swinging homer. Lucena first pitch swinging ground rule double. Rivera first pitch swinging deep fly out to center to advance the runners. Almonte first pitch swinging RBI single. Martinez first pitch swinging unfortunately grounded into a double play. Lee watches a strike on the inside corner. Lee 2 for 2, but he's not scored. He's been stranded on third twice in the 1st and 3rd. Watches one outside. The count goes full. 3-2. Watch out for the cheeky push bunt for Lee here. The third baseman's playing well back of the grass. Lee, check swing. Did he go? No. And he'll go down to first with a leadoff walk. Really disciplined at bat by Darrell Lee.
That's what you're going to get from him. So consistent when he's at the plate. Disciplined as well. He sees great pitches. He knows the scout on the pitcher as well. Is going to play that efficiently. But also has the green light to swing when he does see it, though.
And for Darrell Lee, who did strike out the 2nd most times on the team last year behind Jesus Varegas. He has looked a lot more disciplined at the plate through this opening weekend of the season. Here's Jorge Rodriguez. He's 1 for 2, a single and an RBI ground out. Singled in the 1st, grounded out, flew out to center in the 3rd. That was the RBI that brought home Andre Martinez for the first Wildcat win of the game. 4-4 ball game here, bottom 5. But the Wildcats have been the better team offensively. 8 hits to just 3, where the Wildcats have hurt themselves with defensive errors. Righty to righty, Schneider will throw back to first after a long old hold. Darrell Lee must be used to this kind of treatment by now. He was picked on over at first all of last year. Still sold the 2nd most bases on the team, 23. Outside on the fastball. The Wildcats only stole 134 bases last year, which is well down from how they wanted to play the 2022 and 2023 seasons, where they didn't have as much power in the bats. So it was a lot of, get on, bunt singles, steal, try and sack fly their way into scraps and runs across. Slider misses away.
But you love small ball, gritty baseball like that. It's a little bit of an old school style of playing. We love that from the Wildcats, and, it proved to be effective.
And you've seen over the last 2 years as Coach Hernandez has recruited so much power, the playing style completely shifts. That ball gets away into the bullpen, and that's the danger with throwing over to first too many times. Lee will head to second. Now Rodriguez with a chance to give the Cats the lead here. As he'll look at a 3-0 count from Schneider. This is the moment last night where it fell apart pretty spectacularly for Bradley pitching. Threw up a ton of walks and hit by pitches in the middle innings. especially out of the bullpen. Wildcats will want to be patient here.
We've only seen one hit by pitch today so far, so they definitely talked about that, cleaning up in the pitching staff.
Rodriguez aggressive on 3-0, fouls it straight back. I'm always in favor of taking on 3-0. It always shocks me that anybody will swing.
Why?
Unless it's just a meatball down the middle, which that one wasn't. It was a good pitch located down and away. I'm surprised that Schneider even threw that ball to second. Nobody was covering after he turned around. He had to wait for Miller to go over there.
His momentum must have just been going all the way forward. Didn't want to stop that. Have to bring it back. He doesn't run the risk of throwing into the outfield, though, if he did just release it. And Darryl would have had third.
The freshman pitcher delivers the 3-1. Slider upstairs, ball 4. And the Wildcats will take 2 walks to start the inning and put 2 aboard for Armani Newton, who's 0 for 1 with a fielder's choice. That 0 was a strikeout looking to strand 2 back in the 3rd. Or on a full count, he watched a pitch inside and got rung up. That was the only strikeout for Schaffner.
And he's brought himself right here into a similar position. Runners on first and second and not the corners this time.
This time, no outs, instead 2.
Yeah, so another position for him to do some damage and give the Wildcats the lead.
He will square to bunt and take a pitch low, ball 1. This is the Wildcats I know. Get some guys on and just bunt them over. And Armani Newton is a speedy enough guy. If he drags this correctly, he could be standing on first with a bunt single. But he watches low and inside again for ball 2. What I've also seen the Wildcats work on a lot last year and in the couple of practices I saw in the offseason was they talked a lot about faking the bunts, as there'll be a timeout. And we might get a pitching change already here for Bradley, as they have been warming somebody else up immediately after Schneider came on. But to finish my story, they've been working on showing bunt, dragging the third baseman in, then pulling it back and almost softball style slapping it over the third baseman's head into left field, other opposite way, or pulling it for righties.
I think right now if Armani Newton sees a pitch that he can bunt, he's going to put it down. Just being patient in those pitches. Right now, Schneider's throwing balls and he's pulling the bat back.
Justin Dedman trying to go settle down his freshman reliever as he's walked the first 2 Wildcats of the inning, Darryl Lee and Jorge Rodriguez.
And for Bradley, this is a team that's made up of newcomers along with their head coach and Justin Dedman. So they're learning each other, they're learning their style of baseball, and especially in this opening weekend.
Newton squares to bunt again. This time misses it for strike 1. Even when I played baseball growing up, bunting was always something I struggled with.
It's hard to get the right touch on it. To get it right down the line is extremely difficult.
Newton will square again. The corner's pinch in. He puts it down right in front of the pitcher. Schneider off the mound, throws to first, and Newton does the job to move both runners into scoring position.
Great job by Newton there just to lay down the bunt, do his job.
Now here's Judah Poyeto. He hit the ball hard twice today. Flew out to right field in the second and then singled up the middle. That began the 4th. He came around to score on the home run by Jose Fernandez. Poyeto facing a bit of pressure here after a couple of miscues at shortstop. Wants to get it all back with the bat. He had the first home run of the season for the Wildcats last night. A towering fly ball down the third base line. That one in the dirt.
Great job by Schumacher to keep that ball in front of him. Darryl Lee was going to be halfway down the line if it got any sort of way behind him. We've talked about it in the first game on Friday. This backstop is a distance from home plate.
That one way upstairs. We saw 4 runs last night scored on wild pitches as the runner came home from third. 2 for Bradley, 2 for Bethune-Cookman. If you miss your spot with a runner on third, you're almost guaranteed to give up a run here because the backstop is so deep. Lee watches it just up and in for ball 3. The other part of that makes it difficult for catchers is the backstop is heavily padded. Now, it's important for when somebody's chasing a ball back there, they don't run into it and hurt themselves.
Right.
But that means the ball does not rebound off the backstop. It hits it and just stays there. Slider, strike, and it's 3-1. When the Wildcats went to Sanford to play a couple of series last year at Sanford Memorial Stadium, the backstop is a brick wall. So they were caught out a couple of times with balls going to the backstop. They would come home, but the ball would just rebound right to the catcher, and they'd be out at the plate.
The other side of that is it can ricochet off and go who knows where, so trying to read it is really difficult.
3-1 on Poyero. Second and third, 1 out, and a tie game at 4, bottom 5. Schneider deals. Check swing, foul away onto the road, onto Orange Avenue, behind the first base line.
Heads up, cars that are driving by.
There's a reason why if I know there's a Tortugas game going on, I'm never driving that way. I always avoid the roads around the ballpark.
There should be a sign or something, a big banner.
3-2, foul away first base side. Poyero just a little bit behind on that fastball. Anything on the outfield scores 2 if it's a hit, 1 if it's a deep enough fly ball. No easy double play in play because there's no runner on first. Poyero in the air to right field. Horsham tracking near the track, makes the catch. That'll get the run in. Lee trots home, and it's 5-4. Bethune-Cookman, they take their first lead of the afternoon.
Once again, sac fly does the job. This time it's Jeter Poyero who hits it deep enough into right field, almost to the warning track for Darrell Lee to score easily. No need to slide. And then Georgie will trot over to third base. And the home run hitter is up again for the Wildcats.
There's Jose Fernandez, who hit a laser beam home run that just cleared the left field wall. In the second in his first plate appearance. Runner on third, 2 down. Fernandez swinging, miss, ball gets to the backstop, and that throw was hard enough that it rebounded close enough to Schumacher that Jorge Rodriguez is not coming home. Rodriguez also not the fastest guy on the team. If that was Darrell Lee, I think he takes off as soon as he sees the ball go over the catcher's head.
But good thing he didn't, or good thing nobody went because it rebounded hard enough. That would have been a clear out for the Wildcats. Right now, assistant coach Derek Cartaya for the Wildcats just making sure that Fernandez takes a deep breath over there. Doesn't need to hit a home run every single time that he gets up to the bat. The kid loves to swing hard and swing for the fences, but knows that he has another job to do as well.
He had 1 home run all of last season. It was a walk-off to beat Alabama State. He's behind on the count 0-1. Schneider trying to get out of the inning with only 1 run allowed. Catcher sets up outside. The pitch, the breaking ball, and misses his spot completely, but still crosses the zone for strike 2. Crossed up both the catcher and the hitter. Schneider looking for his first collegiate strikeout. He's got Fernandez down 0-2. Fernandez, fly ball, right field line, foul. Hit on the top of the clubhouse down the third baseline. So I was talking to Matt, who's the new voice of the Tortugas here this year, about the construction and what's going on. And he says the eventual plan is to remove the flight deck from the first base side. Fernandez pops it sky high on the infield. Miller makes the catch, and that will do it for the inning. A run on no hits and 1 left. 1 error as well. We go to the 6th. It is Wildcats 5, Bradley 4 here on the CatEye Radio Network and SWAC TV. Nike is the official outfitter of the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. You can gear up on the latest BTU Nike gear at Nike.com/Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. And make sure you are representing BCU Athletics to the fullest. Buy the latest BCU gear online to the BCU online store. Go to BCUathletics.com and click on shop to find the newest BCU clothing and apparel. That's BCUathletics.com and click on shop. To the 6th, Byron Rincones starts his first full inning of work out of the bullpen for Bethune-Cookman. Has a ball go off his glove to the second baseman, Almonte, who finishes the play to get Ashton Horsham.
Now batting the left fielder, number 26, Landon Lowe.
That putout goes 1-4-3. And here is Landon Lowe. Lowe 0 for 1 with a fielder's choice. Righty to righty, Rincones winds and fires. Spikes it, ball 1. Lowe grounded out to the pitcher in the second, reached on a fielder's choice. In the fourth, advanced on an error and came in to score on the RBI single by Angelo Ailman. Rincones, a ball low that pops out of Lucena's glove. Rincones came in at a tough spot in the fifth with runners on second and third and 2 outs, and he got out of the inning without allowing a run. And Rincones is going to get a pitch clock warning for not making eye contact fast enough. The 0-2. Low 3-0. Rincones, in his career at Northwest Florida State, very accurate, didn't walk a lot of batters. And that's going to be a pitch clock violation and a walk to Landon Lowe with 1 away.
Here comes Johnny Hernandez out of the dugout, not liking that call. Rincones was arguing with him at first, but his coach will now back him up.
He's been called twice for not making eye contact with the hitter quickly enough. He got a warning, and then that was ball 4. So now a run on with 1 out. That will be Angelo Ailman. Another RBI single in the fourth, and grounded out to second in the second. Coach Hernandez not happy with the home plate officiating by Rob Knox. The other officials are Royce Morrison at first and Joe Vuelta at third. Same crew that's done all 3 games that just rotated around. Now here's Ailman. 1 on, 1 out. Check over to first. Lowe slides back in. I was surprised we haven't seen a pitch clock violation before today in the first 2 games of the season. Rincones deals. Breaking ball strike at the knees. We averaged, I'd say, about 1 per game last year. But the pitch clock has been in college baseball for far longer than at the professional level. Everybody should be used to it by now.
Unfortunately for us, we don't get to see it out there in center field.
Yeah, the pitch clock, there's a nice curveball strike at the knees for strike 2 on Ailman. Yeah, the pitch clock is normally on the scoreboard if the scoreboard is working, but it's also in a display behind the plate so the pitcher can see it. Rincones wastes one in the opposite batter's box trying to get a swing. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Rincona's expected to be a long reliever. High fly ball, right center field. Sergio Rivera tracks it. The wind forces him all the way back to the track, and it's deep enough that Lowe will advance, but there are 2 away.
And again, as that ball hangs in the air with the wind, you never know how far it's going to go. Sergio Rivera has to go all the way back to the wall. This time doesn't make contact with the wall, but turns around, tries to get it in low, speedy to get over to second.
Jackson Schumacher is 0 for 1 with a fielder's choice, grounded out to third in the third, then hit into a fielder's choice that ended the 4th inning. That was the inning where Bradley did all their damage, had their 3 runs. Way ahead of the off speed. First pitch from Rincones. Bradley's 4 runs have come on 3 hits. They have had the benefit of 2 Wildcat errors to help with that. Wildcats' 5 runs have come on 8 hits. Wildcats have stranded 5 through 5.
Great work by Lucena behind the plate to keep that ball in front of him. Got props from his pitcher as well.
Rincones from the stretch. Swing and a miss. And there's 2 strikes on Schumacher. Wildcats trying for the series sweep on opening weekend. And he got him with the curve. Schumacher clueless, as that's the end of the inning. The walk doesn't come back to bite Rincones. As we go to the bottom of the 6th, Wildcats looking to extend their 5-4 lead here on the CatEye Radio Network and SWAC TV. Michael Lucena leads off the bottom of the 6th for Bethune-Cookman. They've got a 5-4 lead over the Bradley Braves, looking for the season opening sweep here at the Jack. I went digging into the archives during the inning break to find out the last time that the Wildcats swept an opening series. And you got to go all the way back to the last year that the Wildcats made the NCAA tournament before last year, all the way back to 2017, where they swept Boston College 2-1, 6-5, and 3-2, all one-run games. That year, the Wildcats went 36-25 over under former head coach Merval Melendez. High chopper back to the mound. Schneider underhands to first to get Lucena one away. Won the MEAC tournament finals over Norfolk State 11-1, and then went all the way to the Gainesville Regional Finals in the best season for this program all time, beating Florida 6-2 to force a rematch, winner-take-all game where they would end up losing 6-1, but did have the lead in that game before the Gators pulled away. That is the season that Coach Hernandez always is looking to one-up. He wants that regional win. He doesn't want to just get to the finals. He wants to win it. Smacked it to center field for a base hit by Sergio Rivera.
He continues to tell us that he's chasing that 40 wins. He wants to beat the record here at Bethune-Cookman. And this is the team that he could do it. And starting off hot here with 2 wins and almost a series sweep if they can close out today. There's a bright future for this Wildcat team. With the core they returned and the additions that they added, this feels like a complete squad.
Here's Eric Almonte. He's been on base all 3 times. Error in the first, hit by pitch in the third, single in the fourth. Sergio Rivera standing on first after his first hit of the day, after 2 flyouts. The switch hitter still batting from the left-hand side. That ball skips off the foot of Schumacher. A wide turn at second for Rivera. He will hold there. And a runner in scoring position with 1 out for Bethune-Cookman. There haven't been a lot of wild ones tonight. That one the first, potentially with any implications on the game. Now a chance to notch his first, or his second, excuse me, BCU RBI after picking one up in the fourth. There's a fastball down Broadway for strike 1. He scored Michael Lucena from second after his ground rule double back in the fourth. That was the third of the 3 runs the Wildcats scored in the fourth to tie the game. That one at the knees, strike 2. Upstairs. And while the postseason run was not as deep for the Wildcats last year as it was in 2017, last year's squad actually won one more game. They won 37 games as opposed to 36 back in 2017. But there were so many close games that got away for the Wildcats last year that could have gotten into that 40 wins. They were walked off a couple of times they couldn't hold leads late in games. And that's a check swing and a miss from Almonte, and he goes down swinging. First collegiate strikeout for Kalen Schneider. Now 2 away, and here's Andre Martinez, who has not had the afternoon that he would have wanted. He's grounded into 2 double plays, 1 in the first, 1 in the fourth. After going 3 for 3 last night, they're gonna put him on, I think. Or at least they're gonna talk about putting him on. But after going 3 for 3 last night, 2 runs scored, an RBI.
And I don't know why they would put him on right here, Mike. There's 2 outs, 1 runner, yes, in scoring position, but this Bradley team has been pretty confident in their pitchers. This series today, Schneider just getting that strikeout to Almonte. Martinez, who obviously great night last night, today, not the afternoon that he would have like you mentioned.
No, just a conversation between pitcher and catcher. Yeah, when you intentionally walk somebody, usually you have a better matchup against the guy behind him, but Darrell Lee's been unbelievable today. And he is standing on deck. Wow, they are going to put him on. Wow. So they talked about it and decided that they don't want to face the bat of Andre Martinez.
But honestly, you put Martinez on. Okay, Darrell Lee's right behind him, who's got on today as well. Walks, hits. This is a guy that's constantly on the base paths.
Lee, 2 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. Singled in the first and third, was stranded on third base both times, then walked in the fifth and came around to score on the sac fly by Gina Poyeto. Lee trying to extend the Wildcat lead here. Fastball away, strike one. The speedy Sergio Rivera is on second, with Andre Martinez after the intentional walk on first. That one too far upstairs, ball one. As the wind, as it has done all afternoon, continues to whip 15 to 16 miles an hour straight to dead center. Lee fouls one way out of play. That'll make the river down the third base side. River's seen its fair share of baseballs over the years. Go back to second, Rivera is in there. Two outs, bottom six. Wildcats up 5-4 with first and second. Lee watches one away, and a missed spot by Schneider. There's work going on in the Bradley bullpen. This may be Schneider's last inning. He's up to almost 40 pitches now after coming on in relief in the fifth. Swing and a miss. Down goes Lee, and Schneider gets 2 Ks to get out of the jam. So the single and walk don't hurt the Braves. We go to the seventh. Wildcats up 5-4 here on the CatEye Radio Network and SWAC TV. It'll be 9-1-2 for Bradley as we go to the seventh. 2/3 of the way home here on Sunday afternoon. Hayden Nelson leads off. He's 1 for 2, grounded out to short in the third, singled and was stranded on third in the fifth. as he faces Byron Rincones for the first time. Squares to bunt. It goes foul into the netting. The 0-1. Low 1-1. And it's really hard to make assumptions, Gabe, with such a small sample size. Even 3 games is really too small. You need to see 10 to 15 games before you really know what the statistical trends are going to be early in the season. As Rincones winds and fires the 1-1. Line drive, high, deep, left field, back, and making the catch on the move is Darrell Lee. Impressive jump from Lee. He had that tracked the whole way.
Yeah, he tracked that perfectly. Outstretched glove to get that on the run. Like you mentioned, it's too early to say whether certain things are going to happen or not with this team because it's such a small sample size. But obviously, things to learn from and grow from in this young series as well. Clean up the defensive errors and seeing pitches, making sure they're picking the right ones, being patient at the plate, discipline, and all of that as well.
Fouled away, first pitch swinging from A.J. Garcia.
It's their first series and back in their home stadium. They haven't been able to play or practice here much because of the renovations being done, and that's an adjustment in of itself. Getting used to the bounce of the turf and foul territory as well.
Change up outside. There's the flyover as the Daytona 500 is supposed to get underway in 1 minute with a 2:05 green flag. Yeah, there they are.
You can see it just over.
Well, not on camera, but
not on camera. Sorry,
off
guys.
to our left. It would be kind of cool if they came right over the stadium. I don't think they're going to. Garcia tries to squeeze a bunt down the third base line and puts it well foul.
Give a little showing for Bethune-Cookman baseball too.
Yeah. As I mentioned, the most important event going on in Daytona Beach today, as our social caption said this morning. Down low, 2-1. Garcia 0 for 2 with a walk, 2 strikeouts. 2 of the 3 strikeouts that Tanner Bucabello had in his appearance were against A.J. Garcia. Correction, 2 of the 4 strikeouts, my apologies. And he strikes out again. He's got the hat trick of strikeouts today as he watches a wicked curveball land in the outside corner, 2 away.
I love the confidence from Rincones on the mound. In the strikeout in the previous inning, he came off fired up. This one, smooth, walks around to his defense behind him, knowing he's in full control up there.
Here's Hayden Miller, led off the game with a home run to left field. First pitch to him is a ball low. Since then, he singled and scored in the 4th on the Poyero throwing error, then struck out in the 5th. It was Tanner Bucabello's last strikeout victim before he was replaced by Rincones. Rincones misses upstairs. And of all the relief pitchers that have come in, save maybe for Sammy Steplow late last night, Rincones hasn't blown me away with his stuff, but he's been very workmanlike and got the outs as they've come and allowed really only 1 base runner since he's been on the mound. That one just misses inside, 3-0.
I think he's been real effective with when he's come in. He's tossed scoreless innings so far into this one as well and done his job. Very effective when it comes to doing the simple things correctly, besides that one discrepancy on the pitch clock.
Right down Broadway for strike 1, 3-1 the count. Wildcats clinging to a 5-4 lead here, top 7. Rincones behind in the count, 3-1. Here's the pitch to Miller. Miller watches it high, ball 4. So we had a pitch clock violation walk, and now a legitimate one where 4 misses for Rincones puts Miller on with 2 away. The batter will be Michael Quick, who's 0 for 2 with a walk. grounded out to the pitcher in the first and flied out to center field in the fifth. He walked and scored in the fourth. He was the second of the 2 runs to come in on the Poyeto throwing error. Throw back to first. Sliding in is Miller. Busy week coming up on the CatEye Network here, Jade.
Ooh.
All programs except softball at home this coming week. We got baseball on Tuesday, basketball doubleheader Thursday, baseball Friday and Sunday, basketball doubleheader on Saturday.
Senior day for our basketball teams on Saturday. Their last time at home. I unfortunately will not be here for any of the madness. I will be in California with softball.
Right, you're going out to the
Mary Nutter Classic.
Mary Nutter Classic at Cathedral City, so have fun with that.
So excited. There is a flyover for us.
Yeah.
Can you see it?
Beyond the left field wall, just over the scoreboard.
Oh, that was cool.
They used to fly right over my house. I used to live out down that way, about 10 miles, and they would fly right over my house on their way back from the stadium.
They were practicing the flyover a few days ago, and we were over at the office and just kept hearing them go over and over. That was an experience as well, so I'm sure the natives of Daytona, they do that often.
Yeah, well, we're used to it by this point. It's one of those things like the rocket launches. You know. Doesn't matter how many times you see it, it's always spectacular.
Yeah. I always try to go outside to find the
Runner goes, and the ball pops out of Lucena's glove, so Miller goes down to second with a steal.
I think that's part of what's so special about living in and around Central Florida is you get to experience rocket launches and flyovers with the 500, monumental moments like that.
We're going to have a timeout as the infield's going to come in, try and settle down Byron Rincones as he tries to get out of this 7th inning with now a runner in scoring position. Stay up to date with everything Bethune-Cookman Athletics by checking out the Wildcats on social media. Give BCU Athletics a like on Facebook and follow the Wildcats on X and Instagram at BCU_Athletics. For the latest on BCU baseball, follow at BCU Diamond Cats on X and Instagram. One of the best handles in college sports.
Oh, yeah.
BCU Diamond Cats.
Oh, yeah.
Some fantastic social content, of course, on Friday night with the walk-off.
So cool. We did a great job.
Yes.
Getting it all out in a timely manner.
A little bit of self-promotion goes a long way.
Hey. I said we, didn't we?
That's true. Was baseball back here at the Jack on Tuesday night, 6 p.m. against the Panthers of FIU. And the music did not stop. Whoever's running the music, got to shut it off. So now Rincones at a tough spot behind on the count against Quick. Runner on second, 2 outs. The pitch. Ball 4 and Quick walks. 2 straight walks with 2 outs. And Anthony Martinez has a chance to give the Braves the lead right back.
The first baseman, number 23, Anthony Martinez.
Wildcats have had action in the bullpen for a while now. Coach Hernandez waffling on whether to make the change. Rincones will step off now. Stand in to face Martinez, who's 0 for 3. 2 ground outs to short. And a pop out to shallow right. That was grabbed by Almonte, who backpedaled into the outfield. Step off, throw back to second. And here comes Coach Hernandez, and that'll be the end for Byron Rincones. "31 pitches, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts. Didn't give up a run, but is responsible for the 2 on base right now. Rincones did the job in the 5th, got out of the jam, then went clean through the 6th, but 2 walks here in the 7th have him in a tough spot with 2 outs, and the Wildcats will give it up. It'll be the BCU debut for Justin Morales as the flyover planes go by again. Justin Morales, of any of the Wildcat additions this year, maybe comes in with the most hype around him, as he was selected to be one of 3 Division I baseball players to play in the World Baseball Classic with Team Netherlands coming up in a couple of weeks. But before that, he's going to try and keep Bradley off the board here in the 7th inning.
I'm excited to see his debut as a Wildcat. Obviously, like you mentioned, hype around him with the WBC, but this guy, heavy fastball, mid-90s, he's got a great curveball, which might be his best pitch. And he's excited to get out here for the Wildcats. It's so important for him to stay present in this moment. I got to talk to him a few weeks ago, and he just said he's being present in this moment here, knowing that he was so excited about the World Baseball Classic and all that has to do coming up in March. But right now, he's being present with his team, making sure that he does his job here first before he thinks about the Classic and all the things that he's going to get to do there, playing with some major leaguers and guys that he grew up playing with, being around in Aruba.
He's played for the Netherlands at Youth World Cups and European Championships as well, and he may be the most athletic guy on this squad. He's a former triathlete and from a family with a former Olympian, and his sisters were Olympic qualifiers in synchronized swimming.
So cool. When you have that type of pedigree as a kid growing up with your family, it could add pressure, but it also just makes you very disciplined, and you know how to work hard for your goals. And this is a kid who is doing that today. He's prepped and ready to go and excited to make his debut here as a Wildcat.
His stats last year at Tallahassee State College: 14 appearances, 10 starts, a 6.38 ERA, 3-4 his record, 42 strikeouts, 38 walks, so it can be a little bit wild. His whip is rather high as well, 1.88, 7.8 strikeouts per 9. And he will face Anthony Martinez. 2 on, 2 out, 1-run lead for the Wildcats in the 7th. There's that curveball, 12-6 motion, and it drops in for strike 1 on Martinez. Martinez has power, had a home run last night. That one in the dirt, bounces off Lucena's mask and gets away, and around third with a big holdup. They throw back to third, and diving in safely is Hayden Miller. Whoa.
Lucena tried to make up for that by throwing it to Martinez over there, and it was a very close call at third.
A wild pitch will allow the runners to move up into scoring position, 2nd and 3rd. Fastball just misses outside. 2 balls and a strike on Martinez. And already there's action in the bullpen behind Morales. Swing and a tip into the glove for strike 2. As Morales pounds that high 90s fastball high and inside. Another moment of high drama here at the Jack on opening weekend. Fastball just misses low. 3-2, the count runs full. Ashton Horsham on deck, ready to hit if this inning continues. Morales trying to end it right here. Strike 3, got him, looking, low and inside. Morales with the strikeout to strand 2, and the Wildcats lead 5-4 going to the bottom of the 7th here on the CatEye Radio Network and SWAC TV. We go to the bottom of the 7th. Jorge Rodriguez leads off for Bethune-Cookman. Some pitching heroics out of the bullpen for Justin Morales have kept the Wildcats in the lead at 5-4. High pop, right field. Horsham, fighting the sun, makes the catch. One pitch, one away. Wildcats have led 5-4 since the 5th and have not been able to pull away, even though they've had runners on in each of the last 2 innings. Line drive, right center field. What an afternoon for Fernandez. Correction, that's Newton. I've got completely turned around. So Newton drills his first hit of the day to right center field. Not sure why I thought Jose Fernandez was up.
2 more, and then we'll see him.
Yep. So Newton on with a single, and I'm just going to...
They'll get the lead runner in Newton after the bobble.
The designated hitter,
Nelson, and then Boyedo finds himself on base once again today.
Yep, now it's Jose Fernandez. So Boyedo on with a fielder's choice, 2 away quickly, as the Wildcats are swinging aggressively early in counts, and that might be the end for Schneider. As here comes head coach Justin Dedman.
I'm impressed with Schneider. He pitched very well for Bradley today. In his debut as a collegiate pitcher, was confident. Even when they intentionally walked Martinez, he got the strikeout from Darrell Lee. Really allowed his team to continue with the momentum.
He's going to get a standing ovation from his teammates as he gets back to the dugout. And we're going to see our first repeat pitcher for either side this weekend. It's going to be Brady Appel. Appel pitched on Friday night. Final line on Schneider, 2 2/3 innings, gave up a run on 2 hits. One of those 2 runs were earned. He walked 3 and struck out 2. It was not earned. He struck out 2 and walked 1, faced 5 batters. Is on first after a fielder's choice with 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. The Wildcats lead 5-4. You love Bethune-Cookman. The podcast that takes you behind the scenes of all 15 Wildcat sports programs. Hosted by voice of the Wildcats, Michael Torello, and featuring the expertise of Bethune-Cookman sports information staff. Hail Wildcats Radio delivers unparalleled coverage of your favorite teams. Tune into 1380 WELE every Saturday to catch the show live or listen anytime on your favorite podcast platform. New episode is up right now.
Go listen.
After the game.
After the game.
Listen to the end of the game, then go listen to the new episode of Hail Wildcats Radio. Jose Fernandez, the batter to face Appel. First pitch to him. Fernandez, very aggressive, swinging at that pitch high in the zone. Fouls it away. One of the debates that Bryce and I had a lot on air last year was about this really aggressive swinging early in counts, and sometimes these innings go by super fast, and it doesn't let your pitcher or your defense a chance to rest it all. Runner goes down to second. The throw is not in time. Again, that double clutch from Schumacher just gave Poyeto a chance to slide in there under the tag.
As well, just a little bit of hesitation there on the throw. I don't mind the swinging early at pitches. If these hitters have the green light to swing at what they see, then if you see it on that first pitch, might as well be then.
The 0-1, outside 1-1. Conference play is winding down for basketball. You don't want to miss a second of the madness at Moore Gym. Single game tickets are available now, starting at just $10. Get yours at bcuathletics.com/tickets. In the air to right field, down the line. That's going back towards the track, and it's off the wall. Fernandez digging for second. Here comes the throw. He is. Got to get back to the bag. He's safe. And coming in to score from second is Poyeto amidst all that madness, and the Wildcats score to make it 6-4.
Well, now Jose Fernandez is down over at second base. He thought he might have, that ball either was going foul or going out, because he did not start running right out of the box. He trotted a little bit down to first, and then as he was rounding first base, realized the ball had come down and tried to book it to second. I think they were going to try to get a pinch runner here for him as he's walking really gingerly off the field. He also had to retract his steps and go back to the bag after he tried to run through it. He stood up and didn't slide, so I'm not really sure what the thought process there was from Fernandez.
An adventurous trip to second base, but a well-struck ball opposite field hits halfway up the wall on the fly. Scores Poyeto from second. I think you're right. I think he thought he hit it out of here.
Right.
And he just came up a bit short. Well, Michael Lucena will be the batter as they figure out if they want to pinch run. It looks like Chris Watson for Fernandez, as Watson goes through a really quick warm-up on the foul territory in front of the dugout, getting his final instructions from Coach Cartaya, and he will go out there to relieve Fernandez at second. Another guy with a ton of speed, got a chance to bat a couple of times last night. As the Wildcats emptied the benches in a blowout game. Lucena, deep and foul. Get that sweet click off the bat when he hits the sweet spot. You know, oh, that's going a mile.
Andre Martinez was the first person out of the dugout. He wanted that one to go long.
It went a mile in the wrong direction. And he watches one upstairs, 1-1. Lucena, 2 for 3, single to the second, hit a ground rule double and scored in the fourth. Grounded out to the pitcher in the sixth. A look back from Appel, and he misses inside. Lucena has started all 3 games at catcher this weekend for the Wildcats. A rarity for Coach Hernandez. He likes to rotate his catchers so they don't play 3 games in a weekend. Lucena down the left field line just pulled it again.
Peppering that left field territory is Lucena. One to straighten one of those out.
That's a long run for an unlucky Wildcat to try and go retrieve that ball from the construction zone over there. And now 2 strikes on 2 long foul balls against Lucena. Got to be careful here. Here's the 1-2 from Appel. Misses the breaking ball upstairs. My apologies, the count was 2-2, and now it runs full. Wildcats have 6 runs on 11 hits. Trying to bring more in as Watson's on second. This time he gets a hold of one but pops it up on the infield. That'll be out number 3 as Nelson takes care of it. But the Wildcats get a run on 2 hits and strand 1 as we go to the 8th. Wildcats 6 outs away from a series opening sweep here at the Jack. Leads 6-4. Pablo Torres prepares in the Wildcat bullpen to try and close it out. Blew the save on Friday, got bailed out by his offense. Wants another shot at it tonight. There's a strike at the knees, and it's 3-1. Not sure where that one missed, but it's ball 4. And Ashton Horsham walks. The walks have been the issue for the Wildcats today. Bradley walk.
The left fielder, number 26, landed
In a reverse of the Bradley pitching staff from yesterday, where they walked the Wildcats 13 times. Now it's landed low, 1 on, nobody out. Fastball fouled away. Low. Grounded out to the pitcher in the second, reached on a fielder's choice and scored on an error in the fourth, then walked in the sixth and was stranded on first. Fastball high. Breaking ball, missed. Fouled right at home plate.
That's exactly.
Day is done. It'll. First pitch from.
That's exactly.
Day is done. It'll. First pitch from Morales. First pitch from Morales. Fast. Morales fast. He was 0 for 3 with a walk and 3 strikeouts. He was 0 for 3 with a walk and 3 strikeouts. Puts one in the air on the infield left. Puts one in the air on the infield left-hand side. And Jeter. Rough day in the field for Jeter Poyeto. Rough day in the field for Jeter Poyeto.
Well, Martinez and him were both going for it. Martinez a little bit moved at the last second, and Poyeto wasn't under it enough.
So for the second time in the game, Bradley survives. In the fourth, they were dead to rights. The inning should have been over. They came back to score 3 runs after an error by Poyeto. What will happen now after Jack Holubowski? Gets another Poyeto mistake, and he's standing on second. Colin McCormick pinch hits for the Braves. He also came off the bench last night. Was 0 for 2, a strikeout and a flyout to left. Still 2 down in this inning after the 4-3 line-out, throw-out double play that caught Horsham and Lowe. Standing on second after the missed pop-up by Poyeto. Long hold, and Morales will go back to second. Morales approaching 20 pitches out of the bullpen here. That one outside again. 2 balls, no strikes. That one's low, 3-0. Didn't go on the check swing. You got to think a call to the bullpen is coming here if this one gets away. And it does get away, upstairs. A second walk of the inning for Justin Morales. And runners are on first and second with 2 outs.
No move to the bullpen yet for the Wildcats. Going to make sure the pitcher who's warming up is ready to go.
I believe that's Pablo Torres who would come in for the 4-out save. Morales a chance to get out of it here. 2 outs, 2 on. High fly foul. Out of play side. This is Peyton Nelson. 1 for 3. Grounded out to short in the 3rd. Flied out to right in the 7th. And singled to left center in the 5th. A chance to potentially tie or take the lead here for Bradley, down by 2. He fouls that one right at home plate. And it's 0-2. And a chance for Morales to get out of this one. He struck out Martinez, looking to end the 7th with 2 on and 2 out. Ground ball up the middle. Diving stop by Almonte will save a run, but the bases will be loaded.
And for a second, I thought that ball was straight through into center field, but Almonte comes over, makes the grab. But because he was diving away from his body, it really was hard to get up, say, your feet and throw. He tried to flip it to Jeter Poyeto, who was covering second, but just wasn't in time. That ball dribbled away.
A.J. Garcia looking to change the narrative, and he'll have to do it against a different pitcher. Dustin Morales' Wildcat debut, not, I'm sure, what he was imagining in his head all weekend long. The command just not there. 2 walks, 2 hits in this inning, got the lucky line-out double play to get the first 2 outs. And he only goes a full inning, throws 23 pitches, responsible for all 3 runners on base. Gives up 2 hits, strikes out 1, walks 2. In 6 batters faced. The defending champs are back at the Jack. Come catch Bethune-Cookman on Tuesday as they host FIU as the 2026 season rolls on. Admission is free. Can't make it to the park? We'll have it covered for you on the CatEye Network on YouTube or bsathletics.com/radio. So it's the debut for Giancarlos Zambrano, who last year appeared 20 times with a 6-2 record of 4.25 ERA, 39 strikeouts, 13 walks, 2 saves with a 239 batting average against. He was the first choice out of the bullpen all of last year. Didn't see him in the first 2 games of the series. He's been sick. Earlier this week, just recovered in time to be a part of the squad this weekend, and now getting a chance to get out of a really tight spot here. Up by 2, bases loaded, 2 outs in the 8th. But he came in so many times last year in similar spots and got the Wildcats out of it.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's going to be used for this season as well. A veteran here in this program, knows exactly what his coaches need out of him, and his pitching coach, Coach Sanchez. And when you're in a jam like this, you need a guy with veteran experience who knows his stuff, very confident on the mound to take over.
Now a senior out of Caracas, Venezuela. 2 years at Barry University, where he appeared just in 4 games over 2 years. And now in his 2nd season here at BCU. In this inning, Horsham walked, Landon Lowe lined into a double play, 4-3. Holbowski pinch hit for Ailman. He doubled on a pop-up just behind the 3rd base bag that Jeter Poyeto misplayed. Then Colin McCormick batted for Jackson Schumacher and walked. Then Payson Nelson got an infield single, and the bases are loaded. The Wildcats lead 6-4, but A.J. Garcia, who struck out 3 times and walked once, has a chance to rewrite his game story today against JC. First pitch, curveball, strike 1. Bocabello got him once, both times swinging. Rincones got him once, looking. That time he misses outside. Zambrano with the bases juiced. Comes set and deals. Backdoor slider caught the inside corner, and it's 1-2.
Great pitch by Zambrano. Goes outside on the last one. This time cuts it more inside. Paints the strike zone.
A.J. Garcia stays alive, taps it back to the screen. Florida A&M in the championship game. That was his last appearance. It's a ground ball base hit to right field. 1 run scores. Here comes McCormick. He's in. We are tied at 6. A 2 RBI single from A.J. Garcia. And we're tied up.
You come in, you're pitching strikes, you pitch with the bases loaded. It's obviously a tough situation to come into. Zambrano had the command and the pitches. That one just hung a little bit over the strike zone, enough for 2 runs to score. Now we have runners on the corners, and the Wildcats are back even. You mentioned it earlier. This might be another bottom of the 9th situation for the Wildcats.
Now it's Hayden Miller. Homered in the first, singled and scored in the 4th. Struck out in the 5th, walked in the 7th. Zambrano now trying to keep the game tied. Inside ball 1 to Miller. Zambrano's still got to be aggressive here, work to contact, pitch in the strike zone. Lets that right hand hang down. Now he comes set. Fouled away, straight back by Miller. Miller fouls it away again. Even though they only have 6 hits, Bradley's been buzzing around the base paths all game long. They've left 6 stranded. Swing and a miss. Zambrano ends the inning with a strikeout of Hayden Miller, but the damage is done. A 2 RBI single by A.J. Garcia, and we are tied at 6 going to the bottom of the 8th here on the CatEye Radio Network and SWAC TV. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Sergio Rivera will lead it off as the Wildcats will have 9-1-2 against the new Bradley pitcher, Robert Sanford. In a tie ball game at 6. Rivera fouls it straight back. Sanford played his freshman year at Division III level at the University of Mary Hardin Baylor. Then was an all-conference team member at Parrish Junior College last year. 15 appearances, 2-2, 26 strikeouts, 37 innings pitched. And he misses down and away to Rivera, 1-1. Wildcats in a similar situation to where they were on Friday night, just with a lot more runs scored. Rivera now struggling, and here comes the athletic trainer. It is warm down out there on that field, so hopefully it's just a cramp issue.
When I talked to Sergio Rivera after the game on Friday, he said, and I asked him what did he want to do these next 2 games, and he said, well, number 1, score more runs. That, check. And the second thing was hit more, and there's 11 hits for the Wildcats in this game, 6 runs to show for it. But on the opposite end, Bradley, 6 runs as well, only 6 hits. So you really have to close out these baseball games, especially towards the end of it right here when you're letting teams hang around and not slam the door.
Down low, ball 2 to Rivera. And I think, did Rivera just call for a sub?
No, there might be some dust in the umpire's eye.
No, that's not surprising. There's dust on my glasses as it is blowing in from all the construction where they've torn up the third base complex behind the third base grandstand.
Yeah, the concourse is sectioned off into about 3 areas, right behind home, down the first base line, and then the concession stand, which is near the bullpen of the visitors.
Check swing, did he go? Yes. 2 strikes on Rivera. I mentioned it earlier in the game, but I don't think I got to finish really breaking it down. They're gonna move the Yingling flight deck, which is that little party porch area down the first base line. They're gonna move it to where the home clubhouse used to be. Rivera in the air to right field, and that's gonna drop in front of Horsham. Rivera is gonna take a wide turn at first and then think better of it and retreat with just a single.
Great at bat by Sergio Rivera. Takes a look at a few different pitches, but then drives that one into right field. Gets himself on base. Try to start this rally for BCU.
With the home clubhouse now a part of the Advent Health building out beyond the right field wall, they don't need that home clubhouse down the third base line anymore. So that's where the party deck is gonna go. And then they're gonna make a new visiting clubhouse next year. They're gonna knock down the current visitors clubhouse and build a new one right there. Squaring to bunt, pulling it back is Almonte as he scampers out of the way of that slider inside. This coming to the end of a 5-year plan to keep minor league baseball in Daytona Beach. The Tortugas, one of those teams that was selected for contraction back in 2019. But the city and the Reds fought to keep this team in this historic ballpark. Almonte gets back out of the way out of that one again, and it's 2-0. Rivera gets back in front of the throw from the catcher. You can't see it, but last off-season, all of the green seats in the covered seating area were replaced with brand new seats. Almonte pulls it back, 3-0. I actually have one of the old seats that was here. They auctioned them off.
I was about to say, how did you snag that one?
My dad got it for me for Christmas. So it's just sitting in my office.
Was that on your Christmas list?
It was not. Almonte watches 4 straight balls, and there's 2 on with nobody out. And now with a chance to do some damage and erase a tough day at the plate, here's Andre Martinez. We've already seen AJ Garcia do it the last half inning. You know Martinez is one of those guys that with one swing of the bat can erase anything that's come before.
He's already been intentionally walked once in this game. I wonder if they're going to do it again here.
I can't think in a tie game you're going to put a runner on third with
no outs.
With no outs and a chance to take the lead on a fly ball. Again, with Darrell Lee behind him, who's been outstanding.
Right. But then you also give him the chance to swing away, which for Andre Martinez, it's kind of his wheelhouse. So I'm sure he wouldn't mind that as well.
Two of the speedier guys on the team on base. It's Rivera on second, who led the team in steals last year, and Eric Almonte, the UCF transfer, on first. Martinez, ball gets away from the catcher. Only Rivera will advance, runners on the corners now. With nobody out, Rivera would be the go-ahead run here in the 8th. A tough spot for the junior Robert Sanford, getting his first taste of Division I baseball. In a really tough situation for both teams. Tied at 6, bottom 8. Runners on the corners, nobody out. Runner goes. Martinez, foul ball, third base side. The hit and run was on. And with no outs, I'd almost expect the Wildcats to be really aggressive with Almonte over at first base. If you could force an errant throw to second, that's a run for you with Sergio Rivera on third.
All it takes is one.
Pitch to Martinez. Upstairs, almost hit him as he dives back out of the way. Almonte had to dodge a couple of those in his at-bat before he walked. Martinez readjusts the gloves, stands back into the batter's box in a 2-1 count. Runner goes. Martinez swinging a miss. Throw down to second is not in time. Rivera holds it third. The count is 2-2 on Martinez. Now 2 in scoring position on the steal for Almonte. The most important pitch of the game right now is coming from Robert Sanford.
Infield playing really right on the infield grass.
Trying to cut down Rivera at home plate if the ball is in the infield. Martinez stays alive. Just got the end of the bat on that one.
Knows he has to battle here. 2 strikes.
Martinez watches a waste pitch in the dirt. Count runs full, 3-2.
Great pitch there by Martinez. Sanford wanted him to chase, but he saw it the whole way through. Any little dink ball over the top of the infield
is going to be 2.
At
least. They're playing so far in. And the outfield's playing way deep because they know about Martinez's power. Martinez, ground ball, foul just outside of third. And that one bounced up so high that Holbowski would have had no shot if that had been in fair territory. That's the other advantage or disadvantage, either way they want to look at it, of this turf field. The bounces go really high if it's hit straight down. The 3-2 to Martinez. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Tough day for Andre Martinez. 2 double plays, a fielder's choice, and he was intentionally walked.
Now batting the left fielder, number 1, Darrell Lee.
Still only 1 away in the inning, and it's still a chance for Darrell Lee to drive in the run here. He has been very good today. 2 for 3, 2 singles, a walk, and a strikeout. as well as a run scored for D. Lee. Fouls it away first time. A fair ball on the outfield grass likely scores 2. A sac fly will get you 1 to take the lead. No easy double play with first base open. Lee wears one on the hip, and the bases will be loaded. You could hear that one from up here.
And Darryl knew it was coming too. He braced himself for that one the whole way through.
Bases loaded. Although, the one thing this does do for Bradley is bring the double play back in.
Right. And now with 1 out, a little bit of a chess match going on now. Infield backing off just a little bit. You see the second baseman and shortstop back in their normal positions. First and third pinched in still. Outfield still playing pretty deep.
Jorge Rodriguez. Outside of Andre Martinez, there's maybe not anybody you'd want up in this situation other than number 33. Bases juiced, 1 out. Line drive caught, and that will be the end of the inning as Lee gets doubled off. Oh no. Disaster for Bethune-Cookman as they strand the bases loaded, and we go to the 9th tied at 6 here on the CatEye Radio Network and SWAC TV. We go to the 9th. Tie game at 6. And Andres Barroso is going to try and keep the Bradley Braves at bay to give the Wildcats a shot in the bottom of the 9th. The first man to face him is Michael Quick. Ball outside. Barroso was excellent in the season opener on Friday. 2 2/3 innings pitched. Gave up 1 hit, 1 walk. That's a foul ball. Gave up 1 hit, 1 walk, struck out 4 in 9 batters faced. And he struck out 4 of his first 5 batters he faced on Friday night.
I think that's a big reason why he's in for the Wildcats. He stepped on the mound and took complete control over that game. And looking to do it again here today, just slam the door on Bradley and let his team get back to the plate to try to walk it off once again.
High chopper, deep behind second. Tough play for Almonte, but he makes it happen. One away.
And he's had some great defensive stops for the Wildcats this series. That another one to add to it. Again, off his back foot, has to turn, set his feet, and kind of throw off of one leg. Georgie doing a great job over there at first to stretch and get that one too.
Anthony Martinez will bat. On Friday night, he struck out Lowe, Schumacher, Nelson, and Skinner. 4 of his first 5 batters faced. Breaking ball, strike. And it's that almost side-army action that gets a ton of bite on his breaking ball, especially the slider. Bradley on Friday night didn't know what to do with it. That time Martinez just catches a piece and it's 0-2. Swing and a drive, left center field and deep. That will be one hop the wall. Sprinting to second is Anthony Martinez, and the go-ahead run is at second with 1 out.
Again, hit it right in the gap of left center field. Bradley continuing where they left off in the 8th, just hitting with power, being patient at the plate.
This is really reminding me of the season opening series 2 years ago against Stonehill, where the Wildcats won one of the games easy, one of the games in a blowout, then lost the 3rd late. Ground ball to 3rd. That gets by Martinez. They're going to hold Martinez at 3rd. Ashton Horsham puts runners on the corners with 1 down. The Bradley bats, which were quiet the first 2 games of the series, have come to play here on Sunday afternoon, as they have 8 hits.
The left fielder, number 26, Landon Lowe.
Landon Lowe. Lined into the double play last inning. Breaking ball, first pitch, low ball 1. Other than that, he grounded out to the pitcher in the 2nd. Fielder's choice and scored in the 4th, walked in the 6th. And of course that double play in the 8th. Oh boy, tough miss on that one for Barroso. 2 balls, no strikes. Soft chopper towards 3rd. Martinez will go home with it. Oh, the ball gets out of the glove of Lucena and Bradley leads. It looked like the throw was in time to beat Martinez, but it pops out of the glove and Bradley leads 7-6. It was the right decision by Andre Martinez. The throw was there in time. Lucena couldn't secure it.
Well, it looks like Martinez, for Bradley's Martinez, had ran Lucena over in that play as he was trying to grab the ball, and then he couldn't hold on to it as he was sliding through home.
First and second one out. The batter is Jack Holubowski.
Number 15, Jack Holubowski.
First pitch low, throw back to 3rd. So Horsham went from 1st to 3rd on the play. Lowe is at 1st. Martinez scored. In the dirt. That series against Stonehill that I talked about in 2024, the Wildcats won the first 2 games 7-1. Second game 12-1. Then Stonehill won 8-7 in the 3rd game of the series. Eerily similar today. Barroso now can't find the strike zone as it's 3 balls and no strikes. The Bradley dugout fired up as they want to take a win back with them. Swing and a miss. Runner goes to second. They'll let him have it.
Lucena thought about throwing it, but a great jump by Bradley allows him to get in there clean. Lowe, who has been pretty good this entire series for Bradley, takes another base, 2 in scoring position for his team.
Strike 3. Got him looking. 2 away in the inning. First strikeout of the game for Barroso. And now Colin McCormick, or we're going to have another pinch hitter here. Cal Layton is going to pitch hit.
Now batting number 25, Colin McCormick.
Now, I have McCormick as 19, but he's wearing 25.
Correction, now batting number 25.
No, it is
Cal Layton.
Cal Layton. So the substitute gets substituted. Two strikes quickly on Layton, who did come in relief and bat twice yesterday. Struck out once and then singled and scored in the 9th. Second and third, 2 down. Swing and a miss. Strike 2 on Layton. Layton, the freshman from Chesterfield, Missouri, stares down the junior out of Key West. Barroso trying to keep the deficit to just 1. Doesn't get the swing on the low slider. Barroso deals. Way outside, 2-2.
I feel like Barroso right now is trying to pitch a little bit too pretty and not just pitch at Bradley.
Ground ball to short. Poyeto, long throw across the diamond, in time. But Bradley strikes. A run on 2 hits and 2 left. And we go to the bottom of the 9th. The Wildcats, 1 to tie, 2 to win here at the Jack. To the bottom of the ninth we go. For the first time this season, the Wildcats trail going to the last at-bats. Armani Newton leads off for Bethune-Cookman. Robert Sanford still on the mound. Newton pops it up. In the air to right field. Horsham makes the catch, one away.
It's not the patience you want right there from your leadoff spot. A little bit early on it, just pops straight up. Wind not helping him at all there.
Now it's Jeter Poyeto, who will feel that the weight of this game is on his shoulders. Watches one down to the dirt. Poyeto today flew out to right, singled and scored in the fourth. Had an RBI fly out in the fifth. Reached on a fielder's choice and scored in the seventh. Poyeto in the air, left center field. That's going to stay in the yard. Low, tracks it down for out number 2. Correction, that was Garcia who came over from center. Wildcats down to their last out. And it'll be Jose Fernandez, who hit the home run back in the fourth, although pitch hit for him. It'll be Mikey Rodriguez in place of Jose Fernandez. Rodriguez swings and misses fastball down and away. So interesting, they take a power hitter out and put a contact hitter and a speed guy in.
I think that play when Jose tried to get all the way to second, I think there might have been injury involved.
Rodriguez watches one down, 1-1. Two outs in the ninth, Cats down by 1. Sanford deals. Strike 2, Wildcats down to their last strike. Coach Cartaya calls time. Coach Cartaya talking to Mikey Rodriguez. He's down 1-2. Two outs in the ninth.
We talk about FIU coming into town. That's a program that Coach Cartaya knows very well. He had 4 seasons as a volunteer assistant coach there, but also played there. He ended his career there in 2021. He has 14th most games played in Panthers program history.
Wildcats 1 strike away from dropping their first game of 2026. Sanford deals. Low, 2-2. Michael Rodriguez digs in. Robert Sanford fires. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And the Bradley Braves win their first game under new head coach Justin Dedman. They avoid the sweep as they defeat the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats 7-6 in a back-and-forth affair in a game that felt a lot like a ton of the games the Wildcats lost last year, with the defense and the bullpen letting the opposition back in after the Wildcats had built a healthy lead.
Yeah, I think you summed it up perfectly, just the defensive errors and then the pitching not being able to help out their starter is really the 2 main reasons there why, they didn't close this one out. But some things to work on, obviously, in the opening series is you're going to have ups and downs and things that you need to go back to the drawing board and think about. But, there's a bright future for this team, and they're frustrated, obviously, with this loss. They never want to lose any game, but, they have to go back to the drawing board, get back to practice, and they got another game on Tuesday to go and compete for.
That'll be FIU 6 p.m. on Tuesday as the Wildcats will look to bounce back. But Coach Hernandez's goal is 40 wins, and you can't drop these if you want to get there. last season when they were so close, there were so many of these exact type of games that didn't go your way, especially in the midweekers, and we'll see the first one coming up here on Tuesday.
Yeah, and it's better to learn your lesson now when things, not that they don't matter as much, but you learn your lessons, you tweak the things, and then you correct them for any future losses that might go your way, so you can dig out these games and come away with the win.
That'll do it for us here at the CatEye Radio Network for opening weekend. The Wildcats do take 2 of 3. They start their season 2-1. Bradley now 1-2. Time of your ball game, 3 hours and 22 minutes, as the Wildcats score 6 runs on 12 hits. They commit 3 errors and left 10 on base. Bradley, 7 runs on 9 hits, 2 errors, also left 10 on base. Your winning pitcher is Robert Sanford. Saddled with the loss is Barroso. Once again, that'll do it for us here for the CatEye Network this weekend. For Jade Barquette, producer KC, my name is Michael Trillo saying so long. We'll see you on Tuesday for more Wildcat baseball.